My name is Mehmet Maslak, and I will be fighting this Saturday on FightStar.
Okay, so how long have you actually been with GB Top Team?
I've been with GB Top Team since January of this year.
Okay, so literally since we started at the GB Top Team HQ, whatever you want to call it.
A bit of an OG now.
Yeah, it is now. I feel like we've actually settled in properly now. It's rather than it's all like nice and shiny and new. It's now been worn into our. It's like having like a comfy couch that you've like sat in for a while. And
it knows you now.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
it is.
So how long have you been doing MMA for?
I started MMA, funnily enough, January again, but 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a bit of a New Year's gift to myself.
Happy anniversary.
Exactly.
And what made you come over to GB Top Team?
Well, first, like the main attraction to here was, of course, Brad Pickett. I've seen him in the UFC, seen him fight DJ in the WC, and all like the good days.
He beat him, you know.
Yeah, I know. Brad's the GOAT. I'm telling you, Brad's the GOAT. Of course, and then from there, a lot of guys that used to train at Titan, where I was at, moved over to GB Top Team too.
Okay.
So seeing them come here and seeing the coaching available, of course with Ash, I thought it's kind of a no-brainer. So I packed my bags early in the morning, I make that journey, and it's more than worth it.
Are you one of the ones that have to kind of come in from far away?
Yeah. It's about 1.5 hours every morning.
Yeah, it is far, but it's worth it, obviously.
For sure, more than worth it, yeah.
You've obviously been working damn hard in the gym. I think everyone it's kind of cool to watch before a fight like that, especially when you've got like 5-6 people fighting.
Yeah.
From yourself to Kadeem to Connor to Kate to Delphi to Nico and yourself. But it's kind of, you get this kind of confidence, like I can't see what's happening. Like, no one's beating these people. You kind of see it. I mean, it looks like you've really kind of stepped up your training. Is that like a conscious thing with yourself?
For sure, because I'm genuinely confident that we are training at one of the best gyms in the whole country.
For sure.
And my confidence comes from sparring and going live with my training partners and knowing that there ain't guys out there that are as good as the guys that I'm training with. So if I'm doing good against these guys, what am I going to do to those guys?
100%.
So that gives me a lot of confidence getting ready for a fight.
I suppose having training partners like you do, I suppose you're going to have a far more intense time in a way than you will do in the fight. I mean, obviously the fight, the person's going to have intended harm towards you and you then, but that doesn't mean that everyone kind of goes easy in the gym, right? Far from it. I mean, there's some absolute maulers, especially grappling and jiu-jitsu wise. I've watched many a person just kind of go, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. That's me when you have someone like Nick on top of you. Yeah. It's like just this ball of muscle on you and you can't move. I'm like, what is going on? But
I suppose that's what brings you up, isn't it? Because
exactly.
then you've got to try and kind of survive that.
For sure.
That swarm.
For sure.
So it makes everything else. Well, finally, I mean, how do you find it here? I mean, with the facilities and everything, obviously you were at Titan before. I mean, I personally have never been in a gym quite like this.
Never.
And I think a lot of people underestimate just how vast this kind of place is. I mean, put it in a few words as to how it feels for someone like yourself, obviously.
When I walked into the gym for the first time back in January, I was like, whoa. And bear in mind, this is just entering through the first set of doors, just seeing the first mat. I was like, this is crazy. And then I got taken on basically like a spin around the gym, just like a tour, right? And I'd see stuff I've never seen in a gym that I was at before, whether it's the cage. It's the first gym I've been in with a cage, with a ring, with a second mat. And then I thought, when I saw the doors there, I thought, that's done. Like, wow, that's amazing.
Fire escape.
They're like, no, that's not it. Yeah, they open the door. It's a whole weightlifting gym. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, let me get changed, right? I go to the change rooms, massive, whatnot. I see a door at the side. saunas. I'm like, bro, like what hasn't this place got, right? So of course, coming here every morning and it's like a blessing, and it doesn't. Well, it certainly takes away the hardness of training, if that makes sense. Whether it's from the facilities available where you feel like a pro, to the members, the family here. It's like it makes it such a pleasant experience. It's more like, yes, I get to train today, rather than I have training today.
I've got to travel an hour and a half.
Yeah,
to get smushed.
Listen, even if it was 2 hours or whatever, I'd still be more than happy to come in here.
So, how many fights have you actually had now?
This will be my third fight, so I've only had 2 fights.
Okay.
Yeah,
So obviously you're fighting on FightStar this time round. Where do you see yourself in, say, like a couple of years' time? It's hard, obviously, because life is life. But is there a kind of projection that you have of where you'd like to be, where you see yourself being?
If everything goes to plan, God willing, you never know with what's going on this day and age, but if everything goes to plan, in a couple of years, like I say 2-3 years, I see myself turning professional.
Sure.
And then starting from the regional scene and building up to more international shows and getting myself out there, getting myself known, and of course eventually the UFC.
Ah, the UFC.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of mecca.
The cliche, the ready, like old reliable answer. UFC.
It is. It's kind of like the MMA fighter kit.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
101.
Thanks, Callum.
or Callum.
And that's the kind of teammates you have.
For sure. Sure.
We'll end it there. Well, thank you very much. I don't need to wish you any luck because I know you're going to smash it over the weekend.
Thanks so much.
And we will speak again soon.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.